Go ahead, Coach, with the statement.
Really good college basketball game. Two teams that played awfully hard and fought awfully hard. My hat's off to them. They made a few plays and obviously a lot of free throws. With that being said, I'm a little disappointed in the fact that number one defense in the league, it's number one offense, and we just weren't disciplined enough on the defensive side. We've had 2 games this year where we have fouled abundantly on the road. Northwestern here, it's cost us both games, and if Perkins makes all those 2s, great. I'm happy with it. No, he had 25 in the second half. Nobody else did anything. I'm good with that. We're going to win most nights, but we gifted them by being undisciplined and fouling them. You can't give up a free throw block out when they do miss one, and you can't not get on the floor for a loose ball in a scrum that leads to ultimately the game-defining 3 by Sanford. So those are plays we always make, and we didn't make them. I loved our shots that we got. I thought it was Jaden Epps by far and away his best game of his career. He carried us because we were in foul trouble. Terrence got a layup at the end. Coleman got a wide open 3. We can't ask for anything better than that. And weren't disciplined enough to win this game on the road, and that's something I thought we managed to conquer. But obviously it reared its ugly head today.
Obviously you want to come out with a win. Is it good to get that experience of playing in a nail-biting game down the stretch?
I don't care. I mean, we practice them. I'd rather win by 15 every night like we have been. I mean, they're all double-digit games, but we didn't handle the end of the first half very well. The end of the first half was a huge momentum swing, and I love Jaden shooting the ball, but he can't shoot that ball, and we can't push there. We had a huge sequence, where they hit a 3, and it's a big momentum swing, and we just have to have a much better understanding of time and score and how to handle that situation. And we've been really, really good in 2-for-1s at the end of the half, and today it again went against us. It hurt us.
Coach, that last possession, you like to see those plays just kind of play out on their own and get a shot quick, or would you rather burn time out there?
Which one?
At the end, Jaden's jumper at the end.
What was wrong with it?
I'm not saying there's something wrong. I'm asking.
No, it's a broken floor. Because then they could jump into a zone, which they play a lot of defenses. We like the matchups. Most of the time, Jaden's got a jam. He's made his fair share already in his young career. So I hate timeouts in late games. We practice them for a reason, because it doesn't give the defense a chance to get set. So I liked it. I thought it was, unfortunately, it made a heck of a play, but it is what it is.
What issues did Perkins give you guys defensively?
We fouled him. You drove the ball into the paint. We went over screens. We went under screens. We live with hard 2s. He hurt us a little bit with that last year. But the fouling has got him in the rhythm. It's not the shots he made. The fouling got him in the rhythm. And, Dane picks up 3 of his fouls by reaching out, slapping him. You can't do that. And you have to make guys shoot hard shots. And, when you let a guy get going and you put him at the foul line, it reminds me of the game Bohannon had my first year. We'd shut him out most of the half, and then we start fouling him, and he ends up at 29. But to his credit, he made him, and he was terrific today.
Matthew obviously got going quickly. Did the fouls, keeping him and having him be on the bench, did that kind of slow him down?
Absolutely. That's what's frustrating about fouls. It affects both ends. He's cooking. They have no answer for him. And he was the best player on the court in the first half, but you can't commit those kind of fouls and silly fouls. 2 of them are just ridiculous. You can't commit those fouls, and that impacts our team. And you know that's you know, instead of a 21-point game, it should have been a 31-point game because we wasn't in the game, and you got to manage the game differently.
I mean, I feel like you've maybe handled 2 fouls in the first half a little differently this year. Did you have any thought of putting him back in with 2?
No, we were in a great shape. We weren't in the bonus. We were in great shape. We had the lead. I felt great about where we were at. There was no threat to the outcome of the game getting away from us at that point. So I'm always going to protect him if I can there. The game had gotten ugly, absolutely, but we were in a good spot.
The lack of discipline you talked about, you said you thought you guys worked through that. So I guess what's it going to take? Is it experience? Is there anything you can do?
Oh, a lot of film. I mean, Perkins toyed with us. I mean, and it was just, it wasn't just those fouls, but it was out of position fouls. And, you know, you can live with the fouls when you're aggressive. But in the first half, we stay out of the bonus. And you know, what flipped the switch, I don't know. But it wasn't anything they did because it was just a simple ball screen and let him go. It's just a complete mental breakdown on our part.
James been really consistent to do this on the road rivalry game. What does that say about him?
He's really good. Jaden's a rock star. He carried us in spots in the second half. I'd be hard pressed to find a better freshman guard, not just in this league but in the country. And no turnovers. I think you look at his turnovers in the last 6 or 7 games, almost nil. Very, very few. If you guys remember that press last year, 8-up trend. This year he just coped. Wasn't an issue. So he's playing great, and I thought Ty was great. I thought a couple casual turnovers you can't have, but you know, obviously a tough night for Coleman, going 0 for 7. But we asked a lot of Coleman, and I thought he did a pretty good job on Murray for the most part.
What affected their press there on their offense? Seems like they were able to run some dead time off the shot clock.
Well, that's the whole purpose of it. But we had no problems offensively. We got into stuff almost every possession. We had a little spurt into the first half that we were a little loose, but for the most part, I got no problems with anything we did. I mean, we had a lot of success against their zone.
At some point in the last week and a half, you mentioned Coleman's dealing with the wrist deal. How much is that affecting him?
As far as I know, none. He shoots it every day in practice, and the ball is in. So, you know, doesn't have any problem with his free throws, and missed a couple late. But you know, that's to my knowledge, that's not bothering him at all. What I've seen.
Where are you with Goody? Was it a consideration to play Luke today? Where are you with him? Goody?
No, I'm going to be fair to him. He's been in 2 practices for, you know, one about 2 hours and the other about an hour and a half, or 2 hours, both of them, I guess. And one of them, he was gasping for oxygen and trying to find his lungs. And you know, we'll see as that happens in practice. We're back in practice tomorrow, so we can see what that looks like. And moving forward, we'll need him. And you know, it wasn't wasn't maybe the right day to throw him out there in this environment and the first game back.
We're kind of cut down the turnovers.
These movements, the second half, and this is a tough environment. He just feels like he's been here before. We need to correct that. So him being able to step in.
Yeah, a lot of that's God given. I mean, there's you know, his mom. I read some articles about his mom. She was a clutch performer, and she's been there. And I mean, you just have a knack for those moments. And he's so stoic. He's always under. He's got great emotion. He's very stoic in his approach, and nothing rattles him. And boy, do you like that from the leader. And you know, he's getting very comfortable calling actions, calling plays, and so my trust in him is growing minute by minute.
Got time for 2
You were able to kind of cut down the turnovers later. Sorry. Like you're able to kind of cut down on the turnovers after a couple early. What was kind of the difference there, and was there anything Iowa posed early?
I mean, our turnovers were. I mean, Ty pitches one to the corner where nobody's standing there for no reason and under no duress. Coleman has one fumble out of his hands for a turnover. You know, he throws one to them 3/4. I mean, those weren't even forced. So I didn't think it was terrible. There's more possessions in this game. There's going to be a few more, but I thought for the most part we were okay with it. And like I said, it's you can't win on the road having enforced turnovers like we had today.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.